the Republicans and conservatives have decided to respond to President Biden showing up the UAW picket line, and they're not very happy about it. And they were all led by their Lord and Savior, Donald Jesus Trump. This is what he truthed. He says, of course, it's kind of long. Joe Biden's, I want you guys to pay attention to how much he mentions what he will do versus what he's complaining about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's draconian and indefensible electric vehicle mandate will annihilate the U.S. auto industry and cost countless thousands of auto workers their jobs. Pause. This is similar to what Tim Scott was saying. Anytime something could possibly go wrong with negotiations or even with an industry, we're always afraid of the industry doing something to workers, and therefore we can't do anything to protect workers because the industry might retaliate and become crybabies and then execute whatever kind of punishment they want on us because they rule us. The first thing Donald Trump is talking about. Continuing on, the only thing Biden could say that would help the striking auto workers is to announce the immediate termination of his ridiculous mandate. Again, kowtowing to the companies. Anything that else is just a feeble and insulting attempt to distract American labor from this vicious Biden betrayal of companies. Crooked Joe should be ashamed to show his face before these hardworking Americans he is stabbing in the back. With Biden, it doesn't matter what hourly wages they get. In 3 years, it'll be no auto worker jobs as they will all come out of China and other countries. Here's finally when he talks about him and see if you get any details. With me, there will be jobs and wages like you've never seen before. Our economy will grow. I think the kid in 3rd grade that was running for student council had a similar type of speech about what he'll do. He said, with me, there's gonna be pizza parties every Wednesday and Friday. Lunches and recess will be extended. Math class will be non-existent. How, bro? How are you gonna pull that off? You just say things, but we still buy it, even though he's 85 years old. And you mentioned this too, Rayyvana. He went to speak to his own group of auto workers because, he's for the regular guy too. There's one problem with that, as you pointed out. Trump was speaking today, I believe he's coming today to speak with UAW members at a non-union plant in Macomb County up in Michigan because he supports the workers. You know how that is. A little bit more. The UAW president, Shawn Fain, criticized the move by Trump while calling out all these other things that he's been up to. Someone needs to say it, so we'll let him say it.
I find a pathetic irony that the former president is going to hold a rally for union members at a non-union business. And all you have to do is look at his track record. His track record speaks for itself. In 2008, during the Great Recession, he blamed UAW members. He blamed our contracts for everything that was wrong with these companies. That's a complete lie. In 2015, when he was running for president, he talked about doing a rotation, taking all these good paying jobs in the Midwest and moving them somewhere in the South where people work for less money, and then to make people beg for their jobs back at lower wages. And the ultimate show of how much he cares about our workers was in 2019 when he was the president of the United States. Where was he then? Our workers at GM were on strike for 60 days, for 2 months. They were out there on the picket lines. I didn't see him hold a rally. I didn't see him stand up at the picket line, and I sure as hell didn't hear him comment about it.
A little bit of audio issues on my end, but there's the UAW president talking about all the things Donald Trump has gone into, and of course the disastrous history he's got when it comes to actually supporting workers. So why would they listen to this guy? It doesn't matter because there's other folks too that do listen to him. Here's a couple of conservatives openly talking about how much they hate regular Americans. Again, they want you to vote for them and they want to tell you how much they hate you and will do nothing to support you at the same time. One, Elon Musk is big on this. A person on X said, Biden says he agrees the UAW should get a 40% increase just in case the US needed some more inflation, because again, it has nothing to do with these companies and corporations, which Elon Musk responded to. He said they want a 40% pay raise and a 32-hour work week. Sure way to drive GM, Ford, and Chrysler bankrupt in the fast lane. Well, I mean, you should be okay with that, bro, who owns an electric car company that's in competition with those. It's almost like you just don't care about folks to the degree of also supporting your competition. Don't you want to run them out of business? Maybe this is capitalism, right? A little bit more, though. One more piece here of all the support for how much they love the rich and the ones who pay them off. Shawn Hannity has to do his part from the pundit point of view. He's also supporting CEO pay because, they just don't make enough. As a matter of fact, what do you want them to do? Not have 12 houses? Watch this guy.
It doesn't mean a thing to me about this UAW issue. I will say this now. The latest offer was a 21% pay increase rejected by the union. They wanted a 4-day work week, 32-hour week work week. Sorry, guys, I can't support that. I love you guys. I love working people. I don't care if you do 40 hours in 4 days. I'm cool with that. You got to get your 40 hours in. Got to get the production time on the line. They got to make a profit. The union is mad that the CEO's got a 40% raise. Okay, they ended up making a lot of money in profit. Although, the canary in the coal mine in the entire business is Ford lost $4.5 million. That's a lot of money to lose. $4.5 million. I'm sorry. Did I say million? I'm an idiot. No, $4.5 billion in their electric vehicle line. That's unsustainable. They cannot sustain.
They lost so much money, they can't sustain it. Again, we're talking in terms of these corporations, these CEOs, and the mass amounts of money that they have, and also the way that they move things around to continue to have this amount of money. Let's not ignore all the ways that they've found to use the money that they've got to not pay the folks and also the company to continue to operate, but to go back into their pockets as much as possible. And where does it come from? It comes from the regular folks. It's who cares about you? What kind of power do you have? Which politicians have you bought off, Rayyvana?
I will say for the first time in my life, I can say the words, I agree with Shawn Hannity. He is an idiot. He was right there. That was the one thing he's ever said that was true. And I fully agree with it. I think that, as I mentioned earlier, obviously there's a strong indication that the UAW is going to endorse Biden in the upcoming election. And there's a really interesting politics side to this as well when it comes to Trump visiting a non-union plant and the very, very strong words that the UAW president had to say about Donald Trump. But Elon Musk coming to the defense of these corporations against the workers is so funny, because this is a man who has just been surrounded in workplace violations. This is a man who's Tesla plants routinely practice severe race discrimination. This is someone who, whose companies have complaint after complaint after complaint with labor boards and in individual states and nationally. So for him to be, first of all, replying to some random account with a Fight Club avatar, who clearly must be an expert on the economy and inflation. But I mean, it does say something that the only line that people like Elon Musk and Shawn Hannity compare it is, if we give these workers these wage increases, then that will be bad for the economy. But they will never, ever say increasing the bonuses, increasing the profits of the CEOs is bad for the economy. Because in their minds, the economy is only working when the workers themselves are struggling.
100%. That's how they push things forward. It's the same thing over and over and over again. What do you guys expect something from us? Look, this is, again, I've said it so many times, and I wish this was a normal narrative. If enough Americans say it, we are America. We are the ones who vote for folks, but they don't pay any attention to us. We're talking about we're the best nation in the history of the world. You must be lucky to be an American. What is lucky about being an American when it comes to things like how the economy is working against regular Americans? What is it that's the benefit from us and someone else? If just the top people make all this money, that's how we base our success on, is the richest people getting richer. What is it about being an American that's so wonderful if they literally openly tell you, you're an American. You haven't done anything yet to even be able to live? Why is that such the bottom barrel thing in the greatest nation in the world? What's so great about it? You're promoting it, but you're not doing anything for the folks that happen to be Americans. People are rushing to the border to come and be Americans. What for? To be told that they don't deserve healthcare, that they don't deserve a job, a living wage, they deserve to be able to feed their family? What's so great about that? They're promoting that idea. We have to reject it sooner or later, and I'm not sure why we don't yet, because we're in some kind of a kidnapping situation.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.